betray humanity, and the alien forces collapse before their fleet. The Vierks Combine, as intelligence called them, were unlike anything humanity had faced before. Their ships moved in strange formations, twisting and weaving in ways that made human pilots dizzy just to follow. Beside him, Lucas Grant tapped rapidly on a hollow screen. He was hunched over, his glasses slipping down his nose, and his face was pale from lack of sleep. Lucas was in charge of intelligence and code, and right now he was trying to decode alien communications signals intercepted from the fleet. "I don't understand it," Lucas muttered. "Every time we think we've predicted their moves, they change. It's like they're always one step ahead. And if we don't find a way to level the field, Earth won't last a week." Now she was trying to find a way to make human ships fight on even terms with the Vierks. Her calm voice broke the tension. "There's always a way," she said. "We just need to be smarter than they think we are, and right now they think humans will crack under pressure." The war had started 2 years ago. At first, it had been small attacks, probes, minor raids, and sabotage on supply routes. Humanity thought it could handle them. But then the Vierks brought in larger fleets, ships with weapons that could destroy a human cruiser in one shot. Cities in orbit were evacuated before destruction, but even that cost lives. Now Earth itself was under threat. A comm beeped and Lucas jumped. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It was Commander Jensen, an older man with a stern face and graying hair. "Captain Blake, we've received a transmission from the Vierks," Jensen said. His voice was clipped. "They want to negotiate. They say if certain humans cooperate, they will call off their attack." "That sounds like a trap. No ships destroyed, no lives lost. They think humans will choose survival over loyalty." "They're wrong," Aaron said finally. "They don't know humans. We might fight them with nothing and we'll still find a way to win." That night, Aaron sat in his quarters, staring at a photo of his family on Earth. His younger sister, Lily, smiled back at him, her arms around their mother. His father's face was serious, the way it always was in pictures. The thought of them being in danger because of someone's selfishness made his hands shake. The next day, news came. One of the council members had been found meeting with the Combine's representatives. It wasn't just a rumor. The transmission was recorded and the message was clear. Humans were ready to betray their own kind. Aaron, Lucas, and Olivia were called into an emergency briefing. In the room, holograms of the council members appeared, showing their names and faces. "People we trusted," Lucas said bitterly, "and now they're handing our secrets to the enemy. One mistake, and the whole fleet could be destroyed." He could see the tension in their eyes, the way they double-checked orders, the way they hesitated before giving commands. Fear was contagious, but so was courage. Late one evening, Lucas brought Aaron and Olivia a new discovery. He had intercepted a private communication from one of the so-called traitors. "They're not betraying us," Lucas said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Look at this code. It's designed to make the Combine think they're helping, but it actually sabotages their calculations. Every transmission they receive will give them false confidence. We can turn fear into a weapon." Human ships scrambled to defend it. Explosions lit the darkness of space, metal twisting and breaking under alien fire. Aaron led his squadron, his hands steady on the controls. Every movement counted. Ships darted around like fish in a stormy ocean. He could see Lucas and Olivia coordinating from the command deck, sending instructions, recalculating strategies, and keeping the fleet moving. The Combine expected fear. They expected hesitation, but humanity fought with determination. Ships moved unpredictably, striking where the aliens did not expect. Explosions rocked the fleet, but the humans adapted, changed, and countered every move. After hours of battle, the aliens retreated. Human losses were heavy, but the message was clear. Fear would not win. Humanity was still standing. Later, in the quiet of the command deck, Aaron, Lucas, and Olivia looked at the stars. "They'll be back," Aaron said, "and they'll be stronger next time. We fight for each other." And somewhere out there, the first steps of humanity's revenge were already in motion. For the first time, Aaron allowed himself a small smile. The war was far from over, but humanity still had hope. And hope, he knew, could move mountains, even in the emptiness of space. As the cruiser drifted in orbit around a silent asteroid, Aaron thought about the days ahead. They would be hard. They would be dangerous. But he also knew something else. Humans were unpredictable, stubborn, and clever in ways no alien could fully understand. And that unpredictability might just be the key to survival. For now, though, they could rest. Tomorrow, the fleet would move again. And when the Combine returned, they would find humans who were ready, not just to survive, but to fight back in ways the aliens could never imagine. Aaron sat back in his chair, tired but determined. The war was only beginning, and humanity was about to show the stars what it truly meant to fight. The human fleet moved through space in tight formation, alert for any sign of the Vierk's Combine. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the bridge of the cruiser Endurance, watching the screens flicker with incoming messages. Reports of betrayal continued to arrive, and many in the fleet whispered in fear. Some crews doubted each other, afraid that someone in their squadron had already given secrets to the aliens. Aaron did not speak of these doubts, but he felt them deeply. Fear was contagious, and if it spread too far, it could destroy the fleet from within. Lucas Grant worked furiously beside him, scanning intercepted communications from the supposed human traitors. "Aaron," he said, "I've been monitoring Commander Wiley's transmissions. He's one of the so-called traitors the Combine named. But look at this. Every message he sends to them contains errors. It looks convincing, but it is actually feeding false information. We need to make sure no one else in the fleet panics. If the Combine sees our fear, they will attack harder. We have to act calm and controlled. That is our strength. One wrong move could mean the loss of an entire fleet." Meanwhile, Commander Wiley and his team worked in secret. They met in hidden sections of the ships, away from prying eyes. Wiley, a tall man with sharp features and calm eyes, coordinated with other human officers who had agreed to play the part of traitors. "We need to make sure the Combine trusts us completely," Wiley said. "They have to believe we want humanity to fail. Every step, every message, every order must seem real. We are walking a fine line. One mistake and we all die. If we succeed, the Combine will never know what hit them. Something the Combine can't detect. This might save thousands of lives." Ships twisted and turned, dodging blasts and striking back with precise fire. Lucas and Olivia worked in tandem, rerouting communications and sending false signals to confuse the aliens. Every move the Combine made was met with a human counter that seemed impossible. In the middle of the battle, Aaron received a message from Wiley. The traitor-turned-secret ally had infiltrated a small alien scouting fleet. He reported that the Combine was overconfident. They believed their spies had already weakened humanity. Aaron sent orders to capitalize on this. "Squadron Beta, flank the left side, target their supply ships first, make it look like chaos but keep your formation tight. Squadron Delta, prepare a hidden strike from above. Wait for my signal." They had smuggled in small devices designed to interfere with alien navigation systems. The Combine, believing they were gaining ground, never suspected that their own technology was turning against them. Lucas monitored the effects. "Aaron, their fleet is breaking apart. Their coordination is failing. Every false report we send makes them miscalculate more." Humanity had no chance of matching the Combine in raw strength, but they had intelligence, courage, and unpredictability, things the aliens could not fully understand. After the battle, the fleet regrouped near a hidden asteroid field. Damage was extensive, but human ships were still operational. Aaron held a briefing with his officers. "We have won this fight," he said, "but the war is far from over. The Combine believes our own people are betraying us. That fear is our greatest weapon. We need to continue using it, but carefully. One wrong move and the aliens will know the truth. If the Combine senses weakness, they will strike again immediately. But humans have always survived by being clever. That's why we are still here. If they sense doubt, they will question us. And if they question us, the entire plan could collapse. We need perfect loyalty on the surface, even if it is false." The stories of traitors caused fear, but they also inspired hope. People saw that even when humanity seemed divided, they could fight back with intelligence and courage. Aaron watched the celebrations from the command deck, feeling a mix of relief and anxiety. The Combine would return, stronger and more careful next time. And humans would have to continue the delicate act of pretending to be weak while secretly planning their greatest victories. Days later, another transmission arrived. This time, the Combine demanded to meet Wiley and a few other traitors in person. They promised an end to hostilities if these humans delivered critical information about fleet locations and defenses. Aaron and Lucas reviewed the message carefully. "This is exactly what we were waiting for," Lucas said. "They think they are in control, but this meeting is a trap we can use against them. This is a dangerous game, but it is the only way we can turn the tide completely in our favor." Every false message, every staged argument, every controlled act of panic was designed to mislead the aliens. Finally, the day came. Wiley and the other traders prepared to meet the Combine representatives on a neutral space station. Hidden devices were planted to monitor the aliens and gather every detail of their plans. Every word spoken, every gesture, every decision the Combine made would be recorded for humanity's advantage. Aaron watched the departure from the bridge of the Endurance. His hands were steady, but his heart raced. The plan was working, but it depended entirely on trust, courage, and careful deception. "They believe we are broken," Aaron said quietly. "And because they believe it, we have the advantage, but we cannot fail." Somewhere out there, the Combine believed they were about to crush humanity once and for all. But the humans had other plans. They would turn betrayal into a weapon, fear into a trap, and desperation into victory. The war had reached a new stage. The humans were pretending to falter, but in reality, they were preparing the greatest counterattack the galaxy had ever seen. And when the Combine realized the truth, it might already be too late. Aaron felt a spark of hope. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and stubborn. They could survive anything, even the most advanced alien force. For now, the fleet remained hidden, repairing and preparing. But soon, the real battle would begin, and the Vierks Combine would discover the true power of humanity. Humans were not just fighters. They were survivors, strategists, and masters of deception. And this time, the aliens would learn that betraying humanity was the greatest mistake they could ever make. The Vierks Combine believed they were close to victory. Their fleets stretched across human-controlled space, and they thought every transmission, every report, every human action confirmed that their plan was working. But they were wrong. Humanity had already begun turning fear and betrayal into weapons, and the cracks in the alien command were growing wider every day. Captain Aaron Blake paced the bridge of the cruiser Endurance. Outside the viewports, distant stars blinked calmly, unaware of the chaos moving between them. Aaron had learned to read the subtle signs of battle, not just in firepower but in psychology, and now he could see it. The Vierks were starting to doubt themselves. "Lucas," he said, "what's the latest from Wiley and Mara?" His face was pale from long hours of work, but his eyes shone with determination. "The Combine fleet is fracturing. Their command ships are sending conflicting orders, and their supply lines are failing. Every false report we've fed them has worked. They think they are winning, but they're running in circles. They'll recover if we give them a chance." The aliens were spread too thin, and gaps had appeared in their formations. This was the moment humanity had been waiting for. "We need to strike carefully," Aaron said. "We can't afford to lose any more ships than we have to. Use their confusion against them. Hit supply ships first, then command ships. Keep pressure, but don't overextend. If the Combine realizes we've been deceiving them, they'll regroup and strike hard. We need to move quickly before that happens." Every time they seemed weak, they struck with precision. Every time they seemed to falter, they adapted faster than any Combine algorithm could predict. "They are tricking us," Korth growled. "Their betrayal is a lie. We have been misled at every turn. We cannot understand them fully." Their ships appeared weak and disorganized, just as the aliens expected, yet every move had been carefully calculated. Hidden devices disrupted the Combine's sensors, false coordinates led alien ships astray, and automated drones created phantom fleets. "Everything is ready," Wiley said to Mara. "Once we strike, the Combine will have no choice but to react. And every reaction will play into our hands." Lucas monitored intercepted communications. "They don't understand what's happening. Their command ships are giving conflicting orders. Some groups are attacking, some are retreating. Chaos is spreading. Their ammo and fuel are already compromised. By the time they realize, they'll have lost too much to continue the fight effectively." The humans seemed fragile, almost desperate, but every move was calculated. In the heart of the battle, Aaron's ship intercepted an urgent transmission from the Combine flagship. "They are panicking," Lucas said, reading the message aloud. "Their fleets are disorganized and they are questioning their leaders. Some ships are even retreating without orders. Target the central command. If they lose leadership, the entire fleet will collapse." Every controlled act of fear by human crews had lured alien ships into traps. The Vierks Combine, once confident and ruthless, now faltered. Admiral Korth could not believe it. They were never broken," he whispered. "We have been fooled by their weakness. It was a lie." Command ships drifted powerless, supply ships had exploded, and scattered alien vessels fled into uncharted space. The humans, though battered and exhausted, were victorious. Aaron gathered his officers for a debriefing. Lucas looked at the fleet map and shook his head in disbelief. They thought they had us. They thought humans would betray themselves. But humans are cleverer than anyone expected. We turned fear into a weapon, and it worked. And when we appear weak, that's when we are strongest. Their crew, once labeled traitors, were hailed as heroes by those who knew the truth. But the real victory was in what the Combine had learned too late. Humans could not be easily controlled, deceived, or crushed. Aaron looked at the stars again, feeling both relief and caution. The Combine would not give up easily, and other alien forces might come to challenge humanity. But now humanity had shown its true strength, not just in firepower, but in strategy, courage, and unity. The stars are not empty, Aaron said softly. They are full of challenges, but humanity will rise to every one of them. We may appear small, fragile, or weak, but we are never defeated. And sometimes, pretending to be weak is the best way to win. Ships moved through space like shadows, ready to respond to any new threat. The galaxy had witnessed the collapse of an alien fleet before humanity's cunning. The Viewership Combine had learned that betrayal could be a weapon, sometimes even used against them. Aaron knew this was only the beginning. Other enemies would come, other challenges would rise, but humanity had discovered its greatest power: intelligence, courage, and the willingness to fight when all seemed lost. Somewhere in the empty reaches of space, scattered alien ships carried the story of human cunning and resilience. The Combine, once feared across multiple systems, had been humbled not by superior strength, but by human strategy and will. And on the bridge of the Endurance, Aaron Blake watched the stars, knowing that no enemy, no matter how powerful, could ever fully predict humanity. The war was far from over, but the humans had already won the first true battle for the future. And when the next threat appeared, they would be ready, not just to survive, but to dominate. Because humans were not just fighters, they were thinkers, planners, and survivors, and the stars had never seen a force like them before. The Viewership Combine was in chaos. Scattered fleets drifted through space, their weapons damaged, their commanders dead or lost, and their crews unsure who to follow. The humans had not simply fought, they had outsmarted the aliens. Fear and deception had become weapons, and the Combine had fallen into every trap. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the bridge of the cruiser Endurance, watching the remnants of the alien fleet retreat into distant sectors. He felt a strange mixture of relief and tension. Victory was theirs, but space remained dangerous. Other alien forces might see humanity as weak or fractured. Lucas Grant tapped on his console, a wide grin spreading across his face. Aaron, the communications we intercepted show panic everywhere. Their leadership is collapsing completely. Some ships are even fighting each other by mistake. Humanity has never had a victory like this before. But we need to finish this carefully. The Combine may try one final strike if they think they can recover. We cannot let them regroup. Then let's do it. No hesitation. Every ship, every crew member, every system we have must work together. Humanity must show the galaxy that we will not be defeated. But now Wiley and Mara had the power to end the war decisively. Once we move, Wiley said, every ship we control, every device we planted will strike. The Combine will not know what hit them until it's too late. Ships from the outer colonies, previously isolated, joined forces. Supply lines were rebuilt, defenses reinforced, and crews trained. Every movement was precise. Every command had a purpose. Aaron gave the final orders. All units move into position. Maintain radio silence. Do not engage until I give the signal. Remember, the Combine expects hesitation and fear. We will give them what they expect, then strike where they least expect. Explosions rippled across space as alien ships were destroyed before they could react. Every move was calculated, every strike precise. The Combine had thought they could control humans by fear and betrayal, but the humans had controlled the aliens instead. Lucas monitored intercepted messages. Aaron, they don't understand. Their ships are falling apart. Some commanders are arguing with each other. Entire divisions are lost because of confusion we caused months ago. They cannot recover from this. Hidden devices in alien command ships triggered cascading failures. Engines shut down, weapons misfired, and navigation systems collapsed. The aliens had counted on perfect control, but humanity had sabotaged that control from within. Admiral Korth, the Viewership commander, realized too late that humans had outsmarted them completely. His fleet was in ruins. His trusted officers were dead or lost. Panic and confusion ruled every corner of the Combine. They tricked us, Korth whispered, almost in disbelief. We thought we were winning. Humanity had turned the tide completely. Aaron watched the aftermath. The stars outside were calm again, but space had changed. Humans had survived a superior enemy through intelligence, courage, and unity. They had used betrayal as a weapon without truly breaking their own trust. This is it, Aaron said quietly. The Combine has collapsed. Our systems are safe, our colonies secure. Humanity has survived. There were no parades in space, no songs sung over loudspeakers, but crews smiled, hugged, and repaired ships with renewed energy. The battle had been won, but the cost of war was clear. Lives had been lost, stations destroyed, and ships damaged. Still, humanity endured. Wiley and Mara returned from their mission, hailed as heroes by those who understood the true story. The so-called traitors had been the greatest advantage humanity had. Their courage, intelligence, and careful deception had turned fear into victory. Aaron gathered the senior officers for one final briefing. "This is the moment we've been preparing for," he said. "The Combine believed they could control humans by fear, by betrayal. They underestimated us. And now we must send a message, not just to them, but to the galaxy. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is not predictable. Humanity endures, and humanity fights back. And we've done it without losing our principles. Fear and deception can be weapons, but only if used wisely. Humanity has proven it can survive, adapt, and win." Humanity had not just survived, they had delivered a lesson the galaxy would not forget. "Prepare messages to all colonies," Aaron ordered. "Inform them of the victory and the lessons we learned. Let them know that humans are resilient, unpredictable, and strong. Let this victory be remembered." The Combine had expected easy victories, betrayal among humans, and fear. They had found none of these. Humans had used intelligence, courage, and careful planning to defeat an enemy far stronger in numbers and technology. "This is the true power of humanity," Aaron said. "We survive not because we are strongest, but because we are clever, courageous, and willing to fight when it matters most. And when the galaxy tries to crush us, we fight back harder than anyone expects. The stars will know the name of humanity, and the Combine, and any other force that thinks they can challenge us, will remember it too." And everywhere humans remembered the courage and cleverness that had won the battle. Wiley and Mara met with Aaron one final time. "We did it," Wiley said quietly. "Yes," Aaron replied, "but this is only the beginning. Other challenges will come, other enemies may appear, but humanity has shown that it will survive, that it will adapt, and that it will fight. And no one can predict us completely. That is our greatest strength." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of danger and opportunity. Humanity had survived the greatest threat it had ever faced. They had turned betrayal into a weapon, used fear as a tool, and emerged victorious. Somewhere in the galaxy, the remnants of the Viewer's Combine fled, their fleets shattered, their pride broken, and their confidence destroyed. The lesson was clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. Aaron stood on the bridge, staring out at the infinite darkness. The war had been won. The aliens had been defeated. Humanity had endured. And humanity would continue to endure, stronger, wiser, and more cunning than ever before, because humans were not just survivors. Humans were thinkers, planners, fighters, and strategists. They were capable of turning even fear and betrayal into weapons, and the stars, vast and endless, had never seen a force like them. Aaron Blake smiled quietly. The galaxy had learned its first lesson about humanity, and the humans were ready to teach it again if needed. The war had ended. Humanity had survived. The Combine had collapsed, and humanity would never be underestimated again.